Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 17 years of broadcasting success, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience and those tuning in online. We're glad you all could be with us as well. We are really excited to welcome Phillip Michael Parsons to our program today to talk to us not only about his musical journey, but also the successes here of his single, LoveHateTown. You guys will be hearing that a little bit later on the radio side. We also will talk to him about the experience of being able to share his music with all of you guys and to see the response. Phillip, like a lot of artists we talk to on this program, I know is excited to get back out on the road. We'll talk to him about the experience of performing for you guys, and of course, let you know how to stay connected with him as well. Phillip, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate having you on.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on, Cyrus. I really appreciate it.
The pleasure's definitely on mine. Now, I have to tell our audience a story. They know I'm a big nerd of Phillip. So I was actually on Instagram, as the majority of the world are spending a lot of time on there this time of the year. And I saw, and it's funny because I saw the promotion for LoveHateTown, and I thought, you know what? Have I already gotten that on Amazon, who is one of our partners here at Conversations Live, full disclosure. So I headed over to my playlist, and there it was. I was like, you know what? I've never had him on the show to talk about the single. So I reached out to your folks, and now here we are. So I want to talk about that. You released the single, I think, in April, Phillip. I mean, what has it been like for you to see the way that people have been responding to it?
It's been pretty incredible. This song ended up being my second top 100 single on the iTunes charts, and this one ended up charting higher. But since then, I had actually released another song that never did chart, so it was kind of a little bit of a confidence booster. You know, you always want to see growth. And this song also meant a lot to me as far as the fact that it was written about, specifically for me, my hometown. But I wanted to write it in a way that it didn't just apply to small towns. It applied to everybody's hometown, being the first place that you fall in love, but it's the first place you break up. And it's the place that you run into people on a Friday night that you want to see, place that you run into people on a Friday night that you don't want to see, and there's like all these ups and downs and stuff like that. So it's been pretty cool to see people's response to it, and to see that that I felt like it was the song that my favorite song that I had written, but it's awesome to see that it's also turned out to be the one that's been the most successful.
Well, I don't think it'll be surprising for our radio audience that haven't heard it. As I mentioned, they'll hear it at the end of our segment. The thing that struck me about the single, Phillip, is is the story, and I think storytelling is just a part of what you're able to do in music. Have you always known that was a gift that you had?
To be honest, no. And in 100% honesty, I still don't know that I feel like it's necessarily a gift. I labor really hard over writing music, and it's something that I don't necessarily feel like comes naturally to me. So I don't know that I ever necessarily felt that way.
Wow. So, for you, what do you think has been the connection? Because it's like, I had told your management, even listen to singles like, Breaking My Own Rules, they're the story that's there. And then when people kind of listen to a song like LoveHateTown, it's obvious that you're striking a chord with people. What do you think is the connection that people are feeling with it?
Well, one thing that I always really wanted to do, I grew up in a large family. I was one of 10 kids, and music has always been a huge part of my life. But one of the things that I always dreamed of when I thought about, the opportunity to play music was just a chance to tell my story. That was the number one reason why I got into country music. If you listen to my music, I don't think that it's necessarily like super traditional sounding country, but it's still big into storytelling, and that was my attraction to country music to begin with. So I really just wanted an opportunity to tell my story through music. So when you listen to my songs, every bit of it is a very close representation to who I am, the things I'm into, and that's always been a pretty big dream of mine, is to have a chance to tell a story. And like I said, everything in my music is true and about me as well.
Well, love is definitely one of those themes that you've been able to sing about. We see it in the music. One of the things I noticed when I was prepping for your segment, Phillip, I saw the video for Breaking My Own Rules, and so I wanted to kind of tie that into the feeling of the energy. As I mentioned, a lot of you guys as artists are not getting that full effect right now. You're hanging out with us online, but it's nothing like that in-person connection. What is it like for you to be able to me the way that your music is connecting with people during a live performance?
Oh my God! So in the last couple of years, I've kind of like struggled with trying to decide. As an artist, I play the guitar, I sing, but all the time I'm around guys that are just like incredibly talented musicians, and the guys in my band are some of the most talented musicians that I've ever met. So like, there's always a little part of me that's like, am I really a musician or am I an artist? What is it that I like? What is it that like I really, really am? And obviously I am a musician, but I started realizing that like more than anything in this world, I'm an entertainer. I enjoy entertainment. That's my rush. That's my passion, as entertainment, seeing smiles, feeling the energy in the room, me and the guys coming together to raise the energy level. You can just like, it's like being at a college football game or something like that, where you can just feel the buzz in the room. And that's always been my passion. And so, it's definitely been tough, because even though we found ways to play a few little shows here and there, we haven't had that, the same buzz and passion in the room, but it's also kind of cool because the shows that we have played, we get so used to feeding off the crowd's energy that it's actually been kind of interesting to play some shows lately where it hasn't naturally been as much of a buzz in the room, but just to kind of like create that with less people, just to see that we can. And I guess it's more lately it's come down to our passion for music that's kind of fueled our, the energy in the room. But yeah, it's by far one of the best feelings in the whole world, being in front of a crowd, and it's been tough lately.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, and I'm sure as the audience, I'm sure they miss that escape as well. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're excited to welcome recording artist Phillip Michael Parsons to our program. We're talking to Phillip about the musical journey he's been on, what it's been like for him to share that with all of you, and the single that's definitely getting a lot of attention, "LoveHateTown," as I mentioned. For our radio audience, you guys will be hearing that a little bit later. For our online audience, we will be telling you how you can be able to get it for yourselves. So, I mean, of course, we all are dealing with the pandemic right now, Phillip. It's kind of brought everyone more so to the internet. How has social media, how has that kind of provided for you a connection to your audience and your fans?
Well, if anybody already follows me, they know that I've been pretty big on interaction on social media for quite some time, but now it's turned into an absolute dependence, where that connection that me and the guys feel with our fans, we're 100% dependent on social media. Not quite 100%, like I said, we've had some shows, but it's just a massive dependence on it right now, just to keep that connection. But that's something that's always been really important to me. I had an experience with one of my favorite artists when I was younger. I reached out to him, and he wrote back with one very short thanks, and he said thanks. And for some, I can appreciate the fact that he took the time to do that, but for some reason it just didn't sit well with me. And social media and keeping connection with people, thanking them. And anytime somebody follows you or, interacts, leaves a comment, to me, that's literally somebody taking time out of their day to show you appreciation, to say something kind. And it's just always been super important for me to make sure and reply to as many people as possible. But lately it's definitely been something I have no idea what we would be doing right now if it wasn't for social media. I just feel like all the momentum that we've created over the last couple of years would just have been lost. So spending quite a bit of time on social media right now, that's for sure.
I can totally understand that. I want to ask you about something else in connection with social media, Phillip, and I appreciate the time. Sure. We're going to let our audience know how they can stay connected with you. As I was preparing for this, I was looking at some of the photos, mainly paying attention myself personally to those where it looked like you were on stage or performing live. But I can imagine, in thinking about your caption that's on Instagram in particular, you have on there, "Traveling the country, chasing my dreams with every mile and memory." So what is it like for you to reflect on your own journey as you kind of look at those pictures and think about those cities, think about where you've been and where you've come from?
Man, that's a great question. This is oddly enough not something that I ever thought I would have the opportunity to do. And it's still pretty crazy to me. I worked for the Department of Defense for the Navy. I was never in the Navy, but I worked for the Navy for a long time, and that's kind of what I thought my career path would be. And it's still crazy to me. Me and the guys talk about it all the time. At the end of the night when my tour manager collects the money, gives me the check, and I I look and I'm like, we just got paid to play music. But also, if you know anything about me, memories are so far above and beyond the most important thing in the world to me. We talk about it all the time on the road. You know, at the end of the night, we all get in the van and we start driving to the next city or wherever it is that we're headed. And the entire conversation from one city to the next or from that city to home is nothing about anything else except for the memories and the things that we experienced that night. And I can't even, you know, the amount of people that we've had the chance of meeting that I never would have met without music, the people that I've had the chance to play music with, that I've had a chance to share the stage with, is just, it to me, sometimes it's almost overwhelming, especially when you consider the fact that I didn't think that I was ever going to have a chance to play music for a living. It's something that's super special. More than anything in this world, though, what I value is the team feeling that me and the guys feel when we get in the van and we're driving to the next city. And, you know, every time we get off stage, it feels like we just kind of like went through something together, you know, to come together and entertain people and make sure that their night goes the way that they planned. But yeah, memories to me are the most important thing in the entire world.
Wow. Well, it's great that you're able to continue to be able to make those and reflect on them, and that you're bringing your audience, your fans, your supporters in on that journey as well. Again, everyone, Phillip Michael Parsons has been our guest. Great conversation with you, Phillip. We've been talking with him about the musical journey he's been on, and also make sure you guys are supporting the music. As I mentioned, the single that you guys are going to hear on the radio side is LoveHateTown. It's available through our partners at Amazon.com or through your favorite online retailer, whatever that might be. It's available there. And, Phillip, I mentioned Instagram earlier, but where's the best place for our audience to stay connected with you?
Yeah, I spend most of my time on Instagram at this point, but they can find me on any platform of social media, literally any platform, under Phillip Michael Parsons. And it's Phillip with 2 L's, middle name Michael, last name Parsons with an S on the end. But it's the same on all platforms, and I'm very active. If someone comments, pretty much always write back. And so that's whatever platform people prefer, that's how they can find me.
All right. Well, Phillip, continued success to you, and looking forward to our next conversation together, man.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Cyrus. I really appreciate it.
Hey, man, glad to do it. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let's make today amazing. Take care.